Hey everybody, Steve here. Comic books have been a huge part of my life ever since I was a tiny little lad, uh, begging my parents to get me my first Spider-Man comic book. They've been a huge influence on my life. I've written four superhero books. The EVOREALM here, uh, which you can find all my books down in the description. I've used comic books as the influence for my books, for this channel. I can't go a day without making some kind of reference to a comic book or a comic book character or something. But recently, some things have happened. One more recent than most. Marvel and DC have decided they no longer want to create comic books for me and my kind. They want to find an audience somewhere, a modern audience that may or may not exist. I don't think it really exists. And they want to gear the characters towards them. They want to gear the characters towards this phantom audience that they're hoping to either create or attract, or I don't know. But they're certainly not making comic books for me. I gave up on collecting modern comics way back in like 2015. Now I've gotten some here and there. Just I might get one, and that's only out of it's one of those things where I'm curious, or I think it might be interesting. It never really panned out. So, seeing as how neither Marvel or DC really care about me as a customer, I really no longer care about them. So, I am giving up on them. As a matter of fact, I'm not just giving up on them, I'm selling what I have. I'm selling off my comic book collection. Um, I have a couple things listed on eBay, and if anyone's interested, let me know in the comments. I'll shoot you over a link. I'm not going to drop it in the description or anything. Uh, the second reason why I'm kind of giving up on comics, I no longer have a local comic book store. It shut down a few months ago, and in its place is a um, cards and game store. No comics, no nothing. If I want to find Monopoly, I can find it. If I want to find Pokemon cards, they got them. Comic books? No, no more comic books. My local comic book store now is probably about 2 hours away, and that is not uh, local for me. Now, yeah, like I said, I've given up on modern comics. I've just been collecting back issues to fill holes. And you might say, Steve, there's online stuff. There's online stores. You can still buy comics online to fill the gaps in your comic book collection. And you're right, I can. But I don't want to. I love the thrill of the hunt. Going into a comic book store, finding the back issues and just going through them, seeing if they have what I want, seeing if I can't find a diamond in the rough. Maybe something might attract my attention that I wasn't even looking for. I'm like, ooh, I gotta have that. That's what I'm looking for, and I'm not going to have it right now. I'm not. I don't know if I'm ever going to have it again around where I live. Uh, so instead of just hanging on, just having stuff clutter the place, I'm going to just sell off what I have, and I'm going to just focus on more writing and more prose books, reading more prose books and stuff. Now, as for the nerd way, what's going on here? I'm not totally giving up on comic books. I'll still read some comic books online. I'll keep my ear to the ground. I'll I'll listen. I'll research. So comic books aren't going away completely. It's just my collecting of them is my needing to. Now, not all of them. I have a long box that I'm keeping. This comic book behind me, I'm keeping. That comic book, I'm keeping. Several more over here, I'm keeping. This one, I'm selling. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna do more prose book stuff. I'm like superheroes are not going away. They're just not going to be uh, expressed in comic book form anymore. I'm probably not going to be doing any more comic book reviews. I, why? Comic books are not being geared towards me. If if you want to read comic books, I'm not telling you guys you can't read comic books. I'm not trying to tell you one way or the other what to do, what not to do. As for me personally, I think I've come to the end of my comic book collecting. I think I've finally aged out, and I'm ready to just hang it up and see what I can get for it. Use that money for more important things, like paying bills. So I'm going to be doing a whole lot more different stuff here. I'm reading some books that I want to do some reviews on. One's a superhero novel, Batman. I've talked about it before. Batman Resurrection. I've talked about it before. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to do a review on it. Might do some Star Wars and Star Trek book reviews. I want to do a weekly Star Trek Enterprise video where I get me and a couple people to come on and we'll do a live stream. We'll go over Star Trek Enterprise episodes week by week. I think that'd be fun. It's nerdy. It's within the nerd way realm. I'm just kind of taking the comic book part and kind of putting it to the side. Not the corner, just the side. So I want to thank everybody for watching this long. I appreciate you listening to me ramble on and on about why I'm giving up comics. Again, comics have given up on me. So I've decided to give up on comics and get what I can out of them. What are you guys doing? Have you given up on comics? Do you still collect? Do you know anybody who wants to buy a bunch of Marvel and DC comics? Send it my way. Again, thank you guys. I appreciate you. And I cannot wait to start putting out this new stuff so you guys can just have fun and enjoy and sit back and relax and listen to me and a bunch of my friends talk about nerdy stuff. That's all I got.